search continues into why a commuter train crashed through a station barrier in New Jersey Thursday morning. One person was killed, more than 100 others were injured. Officials are talking with members of the train crew, but haven't yet interviewed the engineer. And work continues to recover one of the train's data recorders. Chris Van Cleve is in Hoboken. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. Because of damage here at the station and potential asbestos contamination at the actual crash scene, progress here has been slow. Still, this investigation, which is expected to take up to a year to complete, is moving forward. This is the data recorder recovered from the rear of the New Jersey Transit train that crashed into the Hoboken station Thursday morning. Investigators are working with its manufacturer to download key information. It may be another day or two before they can access the crucial second recorder and video camera from the front cab. NTSB Vice Chair Bella Dinzar.
As soon as the site is safe, the NTSB will retrieve the other event recorder from the lead cab car, as well as the forward-facing image recorder. Once the NTSB has a successful download, investigators will use that information to validate speed.
The engineer, 48-year-old Thomas Gallagher, is cooperating with authorities and has provided a blood sample that will be screened for drugs and alcohol. He will be formally interviewed as he recovers from his injuries. Investigators are gathering and reviewing multiple sources of video and will examine the train for signs of mechanical failure. There are signs that the brakes on at least one car were applied, but it is unclear when that happened. Transportation expert Brigham Cowan believes human error is a likely factor.
It is possible the brakes malfunction, but typically that's very rare on a train these days to have the brakes malfunction. And that would mean that the brakes malfunctioned on the locomotive itself. And that's highly out of the ordinary.
Gallagher, a 29-year transit employee, is described as an experienced engineer. Sources tell CBS News so far the investigation has found no red flags in his background, work, or medical history. He was treated and released from a hospital hours after the crash. Ike Naham worked as an Amtrak engineer for more than 25 years.
If you're coming to a station and you know you're going too fast, what can you do?
Throw the train into emergency, apply all the braking power at your disposal, and hopefully it would be fast enough that you could come to a stop before the bumping block, or if not, have a minimal amount of damage.
And while investigators are waiting to get complete access to the scene back here, commuters are wondering what this all means for their trip to work on Monday. Thousands use this station to get to work. It's just across the Hudson River from Manhattan. Anthony?
Chris Van Cleve in Hoboken, New Jersey. Thank you, Chris.
The signs are everywhere in Potsdam, New York. Justice for Garrett. T-shirts, too. The 12-year-old killed in his own home. A village angry that his murder is, so far, unsolved. But it's not for a lack of trying. Within days of the crime, police gathered video from many of the security cameras in this small town. Discovering one at the school captured some of the last moments of Garrett's short life. Mark Murray with the Potsdam Police Department shows me where the boy rode his ripstick skateboard that day.
Where does Garrett come from?
He comes from the path right back here behind us.
That's leading to the school buildings over there?
Correct, from the middle school side of the campus.
So the middle school's up there, straight ahead.
Yes.
And Garrett comes on his ripstick down this path.
But look closely, because there's something else caught on these cameras, this baby blue Honda. As Garrett rolls toward the parking lot exit, watch. 10 seconds later, see the backup lights?
And as soon as Garrett passes, he pulls out and does a K-turn.
That Honda backs out and heads for the exit.
Are we talking immediately? Like immediately as soon as Garrett passes on that sidewalk on his skateboard or ripstick?
Yes.
What does that tell you?
He knew that that was Garrett.
Is that driver Garrett's killer, stalking the little boy just minutes away from his death? The police think so, but the surveillance video is grainy and they can't make out the license plate or the identity of the driver. They're stymied until they get a break from an unlikely source, Nick Hillary himself. Hillary decides to sue the Potsdam police over what they did to him at the police station 2 days after the murder. That strip search, that humiliation.
Why did you do that?
How could I have experienced such treatment and to know what they have done to me is totally against the law.
The lawsuit alleges false arrest, false imprisonment, unreasonable search and seizure, defamation, and emotional distress. Nick's lawyers in the case are old friends, a former college soccer teammate, Manai Tafari, and his wife, Lisa Marcochia. Both are attorneys in New York City.
There was no probable cause to hold Mr. Hillary, and there was no arrest warrant.
What they did to Nick that day was really horrendous. They had him leave the station in a hazmat suit. How embarrassing is that?
It may have been satisfying for Nick to get payback against the police who humiliated him 2 years earlier, but he's about to find out that sword Lady Justice holds cuts both ways.
You know if Garrett liked you? He never said he disliked me.
The lawsuit also requires Nick himself to submit to questioning under oath in a deposition, all while still a prime suspect in the murder of a little boy. His attorneys say that deposition proves Nick has nothing to hide, and he willingly answers questions for hours.
Why were you going to Potsdam High School that day?
Objection. Relevance.
To watch a soccer game. And was the game in progress when you arrived? Yes, it was.
But detectives believe Nick makes important admissions. For one, he reveals the day Garrett was killed, he was the driver of that blue Honda in the parking lot.
What vehicle were you driving, sir?
Objection. Relevance.
I was driving my vehicle. What vehicle was that? A Honda. Light blue? That is correct.
Finally, the driver of that baby blue Honda is identified, and it is Nick Hillary.
His own deposition could work against him.
We both fully believe that the civil suit actually ended up really protecting Nick because
How?
Nick had to disclose this information, but so did they. The civil suit goes to showing that he's an innocent man. You know, no guilty person would have done something like that.
But while Nick proceeds with his civil suit, he now has a new problem. There's a new district attorney in town, Mary Rain, who won the election promising justice for Garrett Phillips. There she is, campaigning with Garrett's mom, Tandy, by her side.
Garrett's murderer should be behind bars at this point, but he's not.
Why was that important to have Tandy standing there beside you?
I think it's important so that the community doesn't forget this crime.
This was a notorious murder of a child. This didn't seem to have any danger of fading into the woodwork anytime soon.
I can almost guarantee you that if I had not been elected, it would have just gone away.
I knew exactly what it meant.
Which was?
Which was, you elect me, and I will go after who I think the individual is.
Nick Hillary.
Nick Hillary.
St. Lawrence County DA Mary Rain.
In Potsdam, election promises are kept.
On the first day in office?
That file, I picked it up. There was dust on it. I blew off the dust. The file was about this thick. It is now about 20 boxes.
Indicted and arrested a suspect in that murder of a little boy in Potsdam 2.5 years ago. The man long mentioned in connection with the murder is in jail tonight.
And 4 months after giving his civil deposition, Nick Hillary is indicted for the murder of Garrett Phillips and arrested.
100% innocent.
Was there any part of you that said, okay, it's a murder trial, but at least I finally get to get up in front of the world, this town, and tell my side?
No, there was no part of me that was saying that. Because I was pissed.
Nick does get one lucky break. Instead of sitting in jail awaiting trial, he gets bailed out by an unexpected benefactor, Sarah Johnson, a wealthy film producer.
The Oscar goes to Birdman.
She's best known for financing the Oscar-winning film Birdman. She also graduated from the same college as Nick.
How much are you willing to spend?
As much as it takes.
Nick Hillary's lucky to have you as a friend.
He's a good person.
And Sarah isn't the only college connection taking Nick's side. Through it all, Nick's college soccer teammates, lifelong friends from that championship season, have been standing by their former captain.
Yeah, good one.
We believe that he is 100% innocent.
We've stood together and we continue to stand together.
Our unwavering support will be there for Nick, always.
Did you kill Garrett?
No, I did not.
Did you hurt him in any way?
I have absolutely nothing to do with what has happened to Garrett.
Nick's declarations of innocence do not dissuade the prosecutors. They are coming for him.
So here's our most important witnesses, a bunch of cameras.
Still ahead, rare access beyond the courtroom and behind closed doors with the prosecution as they build a case they hope will send Nick Hillary to prison.
I can't picture 12 people from this county looking at that deposition and not saying, we're not 100% sure he's a killer just yet, but he is a bald-faced liar.
A Minnesota family is searching for answers after two sisters were found dead in their hotel room while vacationing in Africa. According to local reports, Robin and Ann Corky were staying at this luxury resort in Seychelles, about 900 miles off Africa's east coast, which averages $2,000 per night. Local media says the 37 and 42-year-old women were found unresponsive by the manager in their hillside villa. People.com reports hotel staff saw the two women drinking alcohol the day before their death and were helped to their room that evening. Chris Corky, the women's brother, told CBS Minnesota both his sisters were experienced foreign travelers, making their sudden deaths shocking. An autopsy is scheduled for this week.
Hitler massacred 3 million Jews. Now, there's a 3 million drug addicts. There are. I'd be happy to slaughter them. At least, if Germany had Hitler, the Philippines would have. But, you know, my victims, I would like to be all criminals to finish the problem of my country and save the next generation from perdition.
Well, Adolf Hitler was quite clearly one of the largest mass murderers in human history. So why anybody would want to compare themselves to him is beyond me. But quite clearly, if we put it in today's context, Adolf Hitler would be accused of crimes against humanity and find himself at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. Is that what Duterte wants? Does he want to be sent to the International Criminal Court? Because he's working his way there.